How's it going, everybody? This is Kevin, and welcome to a little tutorial video that I'm going to be doing, video series, I should say, because I looked on the subreddit of Payday the Heist, and it turns out that there are a lot of new players that still don't know a lot about the basics and stuff like that, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video series about it. So today we're going to talk about perk decks. However, the very first thing I want to warn people about, actually, before we get into that, is anybody who starts playing, one of the best words of advice that I can give you is, for your very first infamy, before you reach first infamy, do not try to go onto pubs and try to death wish. You will most likely be kicked, and I just want to let you guys know ahead of time. We want to make sure that you guys have the experience to know what to do. We're tired of seeing people go on, CrimeNet, and then, you see this. Well, I think they got rid of it, or maybe that's to indicate that they are stealthing it. However, that's not what we're talking about today. Today we are going to talk about, wow, I'm tripping over myself today. Today we're talking about perk decks. I'm going to cover vanilla first to try and get you guys an idea of what is going to happen. My personal preferences for vanilla, and then if you want to buy DLC, I will give you my personal preferences for DLC, although you can pretty well already tell what I'm going to go for. First off, personal preferences. I think the majority of us can agree that Crew Chief is possibly one of the worst perk decks. I know a lot of people have been saying on the Reddit that they want Crew Chief to get a little more love. It does offer it offers somewhat good boosts, like extra stamina, 50% extra stamina, which is pretty nice. However, it increases your max health and stamina up to 10 times, but, you have to have up to 10 hostages, and that can be a pain in the butt to try and maintain. Me personally, I think it's one of the worst. I think a good portion of us can agree to that. So, my two top favorites for vanilla, I would have to say, are Muscle and Rogue. Even if you're going to go with an armor build, Muscle is usually the way to go, because you'll have, when it's maxed out, you'll have an 80% more health increase, and you'll regenerate 4% of your life every 5 seconds. And when you add that to the skilled hostage taker, if you ace hostage taker, wow, I'm doing good today. 4.5% on top of the 4%, making it 8.5%, which gives you about 40 something health. God damn it. So Muscle is probably the way to go if you're going to go with an armor build. Armor looks appealing because the name says armor, and there's a lot of, you get more armor. I don't know what the total percentage is. 15, 25, 35? 35 extra percent armor, which seems appealing. However, having to go behind cover every so often because, your health is not replenishable with this perk deck isn't what really turns me away from it. So it's something to think about if you want to go with armor. I know some people might still prefer it, but Muscle really comes out on top if you want to go with an armor build, since having armor does not really affect having that. So, excuse me. Next is Rogue. This is probably actually my first favorite, because this is the one that I did Tabula Rasa solo with by myself before the Grinder perk deck came out, and it also adds a ton of dodge. So if you're going with the dodge build, this is the way to go, just because there's so many good things about it. The dodge overall increases to about, with duck and cover, it goes to about 80% I think when you're ducking, and then it increases to 85 to 90% when you're running, I do believe. Do not quote me on that. And also, when you max it out, it's 25% chance to pierce enemy armor, which is really good for overkill and death wish level. And weapon swapping speed by 80%. Although you're going to be trying to aim for headshots, it's still good to, I usually like to aim right at about neck level. So sometimes some of my bullets hit chest level, and I want to be able to make sure that I'm doing damage. I think it also offers 10%, right? 10%, no? Okay, I was wrong about that. Okay, and now we have all of these, the DLCs. Now, people are going, I'm not quite sure what other people say. I think from what I've been reading, though, the general consensus is that Hitman is possibly the worst. since you lose armor, but your armor recovery rate is increased. It's really ridiculous. And the only thing that's really good about it is it helps you with your akimbo, if you want to go with akimbo, because your stability penalty is set to -16, increases the ammo capacity, which is really good. However, you know, all this other stuff, it really doesn't help out a whole lot. Crook, does that offer health regen? Armor recovery rate, chance to dodge for ballistic vests. Some people swear by it. I'm not a big fan of it just because I don't really use vests a whole lot. So, I mean, it's whatever. Burglar. Probably your best choice if you want to do stealth. It probably I wouldn't recommend it being your first choice to level up completely. But, I mean, it's not bad. I don't usually use it for my stealth builds anymore just because it doesn't really increase stuff enough to the point of where it's really good. The only really good thing I like about it was Bag of Tricks. You could bag corpses 20% faster, which decreases the time by I think a second, maybe 2. I'm not quite positive on that statistic. However, it is decent when you're trying to get through an area. You have to accidentally answer a pager or kill a guy and quickly dispose of him. It's not bad, but it's definitely not going to be my first choice. Now, Infiltrator. Infiltrator, a lot of people have been swearing by this because striking an enemy with a melee weapon regenerates 20% of your health once every 10 seconds. That's actually not too bad. Not quite sure what your health would be with this equipped. 230, 40%, so, or 40 health. 40 health, right? 40 health? Oh, 20% of your health, my bad. Jeez, what's going on with me today? So yeah, that's 40-something health every 10 seconds. That's almost comparable to everything else. Except with the Grinder perk deck, it's OP. Sociopath, I haven't really used it a whole lot, although killing an enemy at medium range has 75% chance to spread panic actually seems pretty decent. Now, you can't regain health from this, I don't think. Oh, it does. Killing an enemy with a melee weapon regenerates 10% health, cannot occur more than once every 2 seconds. So, statistically speaking, if you were hitting people with melee weapons every time for 10 seconds, you would regenerate 50% of your health. Which also, killing an enemy regenerates 30 armor. So this actually looks like a pretty good perk deck. It might be something you might want to consider if you like using melee weapons, especially since we're going to be getting a new weapon coming up. I'm not going to spoil that. You can go ahead and check out the website for yourself. And I am only talking about perk decks for now. So today, Gambler. Gambler isn't too bad. It also helps out your team as well because ammo give out when you pick up ammo, trigger an ammo pickup for 50% of normal pickup for the team, which is actually pretty decent. You're giving your team an extra couple of bullets, which isn't too bad. It's once every 5 seconds, however, so it's the only downside to it. But you're helping your team get ammo without having to use ammo bags. I don't think that applies to special ammo either, so that's something to consider as well. Grinder, the most OP perk deck. It's the preferred one from everybody, including myself, just because it does stack. You have a chance to pierce enemy armor just like Rogue, and it's overall just a good perk deck to have. It's helped me many of times complete a lot of achievements that normally I couldn't have. With it, I can Death Wish solo quite a bit of stuff. So, Yakuza. This was Overkill's attempt to actually make another perk deck that is armor carry viable. Although they try to make it like it's Berserker encircled. It's circled around the Berserker skill. For those of you that don't know, since this is a tutorial video, Berserker, what that does is lower your health, more damage you do. Health is below 25%, you'll do up to 250% more melee, and then when you ace it, it'll do 100% with ranged weapons, which is actually really good. However, putting your health below 25% is an extreme risk to take, one that's a little too extreme for me to take. So, it's not terrible, I guess. I mean, it could be like Crew Chief, where it boosts a little bit of everything, but for me personally, I just wouldn't recommend it since it's a DLC, and I think it's what, $6. And then the last one is Ex-President that just came out. There might be another one that comes out in a couple of days. I might have to cover that just to let you guys know, and I'll have to put a link in the description. However, Ex-President is another one that is actually decent for people that wear armor, because it still provides healing for the players that wear no matter what armor. However, how much you heal depends on how heavy the armor you're wearing. If you're wearing an ICTV, you're not going to be healing nearly as much as somebody who has a two-piece suit on. Doesn't really offer any extra dodge, which is the only thing that really I'm not crazy about. But it's not... Oh yeah, your chance to dodge is increased when you have one of the ballistic vests equipped. So it actually tries to encourage you to wear at least a lightweight ballistic vest. However, you know, I personally think two-piece suit is probably the better choice. So for this one, this would probably be my preferred armor perk deck if I could choose one. Although I don't go with that build, so I mean I can't tell you for a fact, but that is my own personal preference on what I would choose, because you still have the chance to heal while having armor, and and obviously Grinder would probably be the one to choose for a two-piece suit build. So that is it. That is all the perk decks so far. I might have to update this. Oh wow. And I'll let you guys go ahead and choose for yourself if you prefer. Personally, if I could stick to vanilla, I would say Muscle or Rogue. Personally, I like Rogue because the dodge chance is just extremely high, and the weapon swap speed really helps you out in a pinch. However, this really does help as well for armor builds. This actually would compete with Dead Presidents, just because you get 80% extra health, and you do regen 4% of your health. And on top of causing panic. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, as it always lets me know that I'm doing something right. And I will see you all in the next tutorial video.